All right. Welcome to the 44th episode of the Revolutionary Code, where we bring the truth about how governmental politics actually works in every facet of human existence and how that affects our people, Black people here in America. I am your host, Brother Tamani M. Wandani, out of Houston, Texas. I am the direct revolutionary product of one Cardinal and Bayou Chewy out of the Shrines of the Black Madonna, and the indirect revolutionary product of one Albert B. Clegg, African name Jeramogi Bebe Ajiman, the father of liberation theology and the founder of the Shrines of the Black Madonna. I am also the founder of the Black Gold Nation movement. My co-host, the national director of political strategy and implementation for the Black Gold Nation movement, and the chairman of LACE, Liberation Advocates for Community Empowerment, the intellectual gangster, corporate grassroots revolutionary, and master domino assassin from Shreveport, Louisiana, aka the Boot, Brother Craig B. Lee. Brother Craig, how you doing on the road with us tonight?
I am doing absolutely irie here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And today has been awesome going to the Grand Canyon and just seeing how powerful the Creator is with all of the artistic just beauty of nature.
For sure, for sure. All right, before we get started this evening, let me tell you guys about the Black Gold Nation movement. Our ultimate goal is putting our people, Black people, in the position by which we can own and or control the environment where we live. Because when we don't own or control our environment, we lose. When we don't own or control relevant aspects of that environment, we always find ourselves on the bottom. So when we don't control the security, the politics, the agriculture, the education, the spirituality, when we don't control those very important aspects of human life, when other people control those systems in the spaces where we live, we always find ourselves on the losing end. So since we no longer want to be on the losing end, since we understand the importance of power, we want to do every single thing we can to control the spaces where we live. So that is why we are here. Brother Craig and I are not just here to inform or educate you. We're trying to get you to do something. We're trying to inform, educate, motivate, mobilize, organize, and build. Everything we say and every single thing we do is about getting our people on board to build a nation within this nation for the ultimate goal and purpose to build power. Because we understand if we don't have power, nothing else matters. Everything that happens to our people happens because we don't have the power to stop it. Tonight's show title is Cryptocurrency, the Future of Money Today, and the Economic Power Black People Could Secure. Cryptocurrency, the Future of Money Today, and the Economic Power Black People Could Secure. So with that, we're going to jump right into it. Question number one. Craig, you know you're muted?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Question number one.
I'm here.
Okay, cool. Most people would say that Black people have a lot of problems, but of course, that's not true from our perspective. We only have two issues, and everything else are symptoms of these two problems. So what are these two problems that Black people have?
Well, the first and most important problem that we have is the philosophy, the system, and the game of capitalistic white supremacy, racism. And as I've already articulated for the past 2+ decades, there's nothing that we can do directly about that particular problem, but indirectly by dealing with the second and most impactful problem that impacts us 24/7, 365, we can indirectly have an impact on problem number one. So problem number two is no empowerment. And as I define empowerment as the ability to control your destiny, and the 6 pillars of empowerment that the Creator and the ancestors blessed me to create, articulate back in 1995, spirituality, organic right culture, education, economics, socioeconomics, and politics. Those particular pillars are what are needed in order to now control your destiny. And when you're controlling your destiny, now the philosophy, the system, and the game of capitalistic white supremacy, racism has now lessened the control because you're now taking control of your lives. And though there will still be obstacles, you can take care of local spaces that you can control. And to Money, I'll give you an example. Today, when we were up on the west side of the Grand Canyon, there's a tribe that is the host tribe for the Grand Canyon parks on that side, and they're called the Walapa, the Wallapai tribe. I say Walapa, but the Wallapai tribe, and phenomenal host today. He was an ambassador, and look at what he said. Listen, I want you to hear me now, and this is for all of the people who push this foolish notion of being sovereign. Listen to what he said, Brother Tamani. Guess what they had to start paying about 10 years ago?
Taxes?
You goddamn right. now, how are you sovereign and you got to goddamn taxes? But the United States government allows them to not pay taxes on their property. And trust me, bro, people better stop talking about the projects after what I saw today. Oh, brother, this is real projects here. I mean, but there are projects in the trailers, and so what good is it to quote unquote own your own land? You can't grow a goddamn thing on it, but now you have to pay taxes, income taxes, and sales taxes on products and services. And from what I've heard, most of the people who push this sovereignty narrative, that's the number one thing they're trying to avoid. And so you can't be sovereign when the government dictates what you can and cannot do.
That's right.
So my premise of the two problems that we have, the philosophy, system, and game of capitalistic white supremacy, racism, number one, again, not being able to do anything directly about that, because that's where our so-called the good white folks, the good white allies have to come in and directly work towards the dismantling of that. And I think I've taken you through enough coursework now over the past few years with the documentaries, the movies, the books, to understand these folks are about that life. They're willing to die for theirs. But what we can control is the no empowerment situation, and go ahead and now embrace spirituality, organic right culture, education, economics, socioeconomics, and politics, and knock this out.
Excellent. Okay, so we have zero power right now to stop this machine that is the philosophy, system, and game of capitalistic white supremacy, racism.
What I say in terms of power, intrinsically we have a lot of power,
right?
But extrinsically we are lacking therein. But that intrinsic power of spirituality and the reclaiming of our organic right culture, that will that is already there. It just has to be unlocked, unleashed, activated,
and tapped into and utilized. Amen. I can dig it. Okay, so just for clarity, describe for everybody the system, this system that the architects and managers of this philosophy have created. So if an alien came to Earth tomorrow and asked you to describe this system that these architects and managers of this philosophy have created, how would you describe this system?
Gangster.
Well, he's an alien. He don't know what gangster means. You got to be a little more simplistic than that.
Diabolical. I mean, what I would say, brother, this thing is so, look, man, this thing is so complex. And I'm just gonna roll with this particular trip and give you case analysis from this trip. So there is on the west side of the Grand Canyon, a place, the second stop is called Guano. And guano is a native term for bat droppings, bat shit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why do I reference bats in reference to the question that you just asked?
Mm-hmm.
To give you an understanding of the complexity of these individuals. Look, man, the Grand Canyon is, whether it's 8 wonders of the world, 10, it could be 30 for all I mean. That's their thing, 7, 8 wonders of the world. But it is a phenomenal structure. And in the 1930s, a white guy stumbled on to this bat cave. And bats, when their droppings are highly toxic, but they're full of nitrogen, and they can be used for a variety of different products. And the guy wanted to get access to this cave and to the product of the bat droppings. And so, man, they created a very sophisticated system, a tram system, to go from the top to the bottom, all the way down to the Colorado River, to bring up miners and to, bring down the product. They were able to figure this out, right? And the remnants of this former mining of bat dropping still exists. I want you to think about that. This is how their mind works, where it's like, damn, how can we get to products that can now, natural resources that can now get to the destruction. Now, nitrogen is used in explosives.
That's right.
Okay. And so my point to you is, if the aliens came down, I would use the terminology that I would have to then break down to them, highly complex, evil, diabolical gangster, because they are about that life.
Yeah.
Brother, to see the complexity of how they've created infrastructure in a goddamn rock. I'm talking about roads that go way up in the air, and hell, the goddamn phone signal didn't even drop. And I'm talking about we were way deep in the hills of Arizona. And so when you think about this, and we can't even do a goddamn grocery store. We can't even put a damn, bruh, I would tell any alien that these cats are highly motivated to maintain their power and control over the world at any cost. And if they can see anything that they can benefit from to advance their agenda, what you may not see, they can see, and they will go ahead and rock and roll and seize the opportunity to make things happen. And that's who they are.
And as we always say, when they say by any means necessary,
they mean that.
They mean it for sure. They mean it for sure. Okay.
They mean that for sure.
For sure. Yeah. And like you just said, they are about that life. So, all right. Next question. Capitalistic white supremacy racism. Is there a socialist or a Marxist white supremacy racism? Why capitalistic white supremacy racism? Why
because that's just the system that we're in, but it also exists in Marxism, socialism, communism. White supremacy controls any system that is out there. Currently, the economic political system that the creators blessed me to create, culturalism, of course, it does not enter into the creation that I have, because my premise is to have all grassroots people, regardless of ethnicity, being able to participate in whatever system, municipal government, state government, national government there is, and being able to come together around the concepts of freedom, justice, equity, and cultural respect. And so within my construct, my economic and political construct of culturalism, that does not exist. But any other system that's out there, Marxism, socialism, communism, capitalism, all are rooted in white supremacy or some form of philosophy that would not give equity to all of the various ethnic groups that would live in that particular land. And that's why grassroots people, regardless of ethnicity, will have to elevate, learn, so that they can now overcome, because the people who are in control, they're not gonna goddamn stop doing what they're doing just because you complain about it and whatnot. Before I got on this call tonight, man, I heard on the news, these fools up here talking about the current minimum wage. And we're in Nevada now. They said the current minimum wage, even in Nevada, ain't enough for people to flourish off of. Do you know what they said these people will need to live, man? $24 an hour.
Oh, really?
Bruh.
Okay.
Bruh.
So man, they want to go to the casinos on the weekend. That's what they want to do.
Hey, bro. I mean, it's never going to happen. And to even believe the premise that corporations and municipal governments are structured to help you become financially independent, and brother, that's not even life, man.
Yeah. They clearly don't understand the system that we live in, which a perfect segue to the next question. So what does it mean to live in a capitalistic, white supremacist, racist system? What does that mean?
James Baldwin says it means that you're constantly in a state of rage.
Yeah.
Especially if you're African American, African descendant, and especially if you are an African descendant male. Mm-hmm. But the reason that I'm not in a constant state of rage with the philosophy that the architects, the engineers of the system and the game have created is because I have accepted this is what it is.
Yeah.
What makes me in a constant state of rage is that our people see this every day.
Yep.
And they talk all this shit about it, but they don't want to do anything about it. That's the majority of our people. Some of us are dedicated and committed, but that's where my anger and rage is not based on the oppressors who have created the philosophy, the system, and the game, but for those who refuse to deal with it. But even within this deal, where there are constant major obstacles, hypocrisy, deception, all of these things exist on a daily basis because we're really at war. We're in a spiritual and cultural war. Within all of that we have to deal with every day, there are still opportunities.
By all means.
But you got to seize the opportunities because nobody is going to make that happen for you.
Another perfect segue. Seizing the opportunity requires capital, correct?
Oh yes, without a doubt.
Right.
But the number one capital is not currency capital in terms of literal money, but the currency, the capital of your ideas that come from you.
Yeah. Okay. So living in a society that is capitalistic, what can we, or what can a people, what can a person accomplish if you don't have any capital?
Well, again, your number one capital that you have is your intellectual capital.
Okay.
Because all monetary currency, monetary capital is a function or byproduct of your intellectual capital. That's why I gave you the example of guano today. The bat droppings. There was an idea that the guy had. Now they ended up shutting the deal down because they couldn't, really get to the raw material without a lot of difficulty. But the point is, at one point, this idea manifested itself.
Yep.
Okay. And so we do have even physical monetary capital if you're mobilizing and organizing together. So this has been proven. If you look at a movie like Hoodlum, if you go and study the Godfather of Harlem, the movie that's out right now with Bumpy Johnson. I mean, the television series with Bumpy Johnson and Malcolm. And what am I saying? Nickels and dimes add up.
Mm-hmm.
They added up back then.
Yeah.
But we don't understand that our micro dollars and cents, if we mobilize and organize them together, you
They add
have a
up.
lot of money.
Yeah, no doubt,
They-
no doubt. And
but
and,
then,
and we got a lot of nickels and dimes.
exactly. But then we have to intelligently direct them. But you got to now, move beyond being an unconscious consumer, because that requires discipline. And that goes back to spirituality and organic right culture. You have to be willing to sacrifice and have discipline in order to take a little and turn it into a lot. But that's doable within the few shekels that we have. It's doable.
Yeah.
Because our people did it coming out of chattel slavery and creating townships with basically nothing.
With a lot less shekels.
Without a doubt.
So it's safe to say, if one is not ready, willing, and able to use his or her intellectual capital to create a monetary capital, then you're not going to be able to accomplish much in this
capital.
No,
you're not going to be able to do anything there, because your greatest asset is your spirituality, which is untapped, your mind, which is being used for wrong purposes. I used to associate the mind with the higher self, because a person has a higher self and a lower self. But I no longer, about 20 years ago, I stopped doing that, classifying the mind with your higher self, because the mind can be used for higher living purposes or lower. So it's not necessarily a part of your higher self, because it can be leveraged to roll with your lower self. So what we have to do, that's where the spirituality and the organic right culture comes in. That now takes over the mind and guides it and directs it into a positive and righteous manner.
So you've started to use I think either last week or the week before. I think it was last week. Instead of saying right culture, you are now saying organic right culture. Explain that.
And so because it's a combination thing. The organic cultural construct that our African ancestors created, when you look at the term organic, it actually goes into the concept of carbon. Organic deals with carbon. Carbon is black. Mm-hmm. And black is, for us, a state of mind of African descendants who are focused on the business of the liberation, empowerment, and advancement of our people. Right. So it's a clever construct that the Creator led me into producing organic, meaning carbon being a color, highly melanated color, which goes into black state of mind. We have to lead the world into now establishing a right culture for themselves, because we are the originals of the planet. So hence the concept of organic right, because it is up to us. This is why the world is out of balance right now, because we're out of balance.
That's right.
The original people are out of balance. Regardless of how we got to be out of balance, we have to work towards regaining who we once were in order to now propel ourselves to the future. And it's not just about going back and saying, oh, we built the pyramids, oh, we did this, oh, we did that. No, you need to know that. You need to learn that, understand it, comprehend it, know it. But now you got to start doing work to advance the agenda. Right. Because if our ancestors who created the pyramids were to do what the hell we're doing right now in the 20th and 21st, they would have never built the goddamn pyramid.
Right, there would be no pyramids. Yeah, and we are most certainly we seem to be satisfied with living off of the creations of those who have come before us, as opposed to creating our own pyramids.
Exactly. And you know, I remember in 1991, man, I was 23, 23 years old, 22, 23. I'd moved back to Shreveport to take care of who I thought was my daughter at the time. And I had to do a Black history presentation at this church. And I was just listening to people. This is when the first Persian Gulf War was going on. And boy, I'm listening to these Negro, they just talking trash about them old Muslims, them old goddamn Muslims ain't worth a damn. And I remember the quote that Malcolm had said, and it was so powerful. He said, just because a cat has kittens in an oven, don't make them biscuits. and I led out with that quote. But here's what the gist of my lecture was about. I was 22, 23. I say, look, man, most of you all want to study Black history from a standpoint of did you know questions. Mm-hmm. Did you know that Garrett A. Morgan discovered the traffic light and the gas mask? Did you know Madam C.J. Walker? Did you know about the pyramids? Did you know about Imhotep? I want you to feel and hear me now. I did this in 1991. And I'm like, what in the hell, even though that's good to learn about the did you know, I want to know what inspired Garrett A. Morgan to create the goddamn gas mask. What inspired Garrett A. Morgan to create the traffic light? You see, because you need to tap into that energy, that spirit, in order for you to come up with your creation.
That's right.
Don't just sit and tell me that he created something, but you don't study what led him to create that something. Because that means you just gonna be clout chasing on Garrett A. Morgan and using him. But now when I say, well, show me your resume, references, and receipts for your work, well, you know, brother, that's what's up with you. You always wanna hate. No, I want you to show me. Okay, it's good. We learned about Garrett A. Morgan because I know you're just focusing on the trivia, you know, the trivia quiz. Yeah. You know, did you know? Did you know? And that's what Umar Johnson does. That's what, Tariq has built his whole money has been based on the did you know? Right?
Yeah.
He's now focused on how our ancestors were inspired to do what they did. Mm-hmm. Hence, but I know because that's a spiritual a cultural thing, right?
That's right? Yeah, no doubt.
Right?
Yeah.
And so within that overall dynamic, why aren't you trying to tap into that component? Because that's where it's at.
Right. And tapping into that, therein lies your pathway to power and freedom. Which of course we don't know that, which is why we're gonna try and tap into it. Okay, so
exactly, and again, and just I'm not against. Again, I'm glad Tariq made Hidden Colors. A lot of people learn things that I'm not. But dude, you get bogged down into the trivia like this is some type of goddamn Jeopardy deal, you know. But you're not learning about the philosophy, the sacrifices, the discipline, those things that it took Garrett A. Morgan or Madam C.J. Walker or any of our other iconic entities who created products or who created various businesses or who created the towns. We need to tap into that because that is the positive energy that will fuel us to do what we need to do.
Dig it. Okay, so tonight's show title is Cryptocurrency, the future of money today and the economic power Black people could secure. In as lay terms as possible, what is cryptocurrency in as lay terms as possible?
And what I told you earlier, it's the future of money today. Crypto is currency that has a cyber basis, a in the cloud basis where you have currency that is not going to be able to be controlled by government. This is the basis of the people who came up with it. They wanted to, the eggheads, you know, in their idealistic nature, wanted to create a currency that governments could not control. But guess what? Governments, I mean, I try to get people to understand, brother, you're not going to, the plutocrats control the whole game.
Yeah.
So you can make some inroads, but you're not going to just disengage from that. So, but the people, and I take my hat off to them because they've created the new frontier for money.
Yeah.
And it's going to be on the computer because, you know, the dollar bill, the dollars that we roll with, or the British pound, again, all of these things are nothing but ideas,
right?
Period. And so they've come up with a new idea that some of the creative geniuses came up with a new idea to put new currency that cannot be the crypto, the encrypted construct of the new money is coded online. And so you tap in and you establish, I mean, all you need, as Harlan always says, is consensus.
Yeah.
So you need people who agree that this is going to become money.
Yeah.
And now it becomes money.
Yeah, and it's going to be valued at this value because you have consensus.
Exactly, you have consensus, right? And so this is what crypto is, the new frontier for money today. And it's exciting to learn about these things. It really is.
So when you say the future of money today, that implies that the future is now, correct? The future is here.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah. It's here and it's here to stay.
Hey, bro, if you believe that the coronavirus is really, you know, this pandemic is really about the coronavirus, I feel bad for you, because it's not. I mean, the new world order is here, and the transformation is here. And if you're not a part, I saw a post today from a young brother in Shreveport. He's a good guy, Marcus Mitchell. And he said, most of y'all, if you were investing in each other's business instead of trying to invest in cryptocurrency, look how far along we would be. And it's so sad because I like Marcus, but remember what I told you. We live in a multi-dimensional reality. Right. This is not an either or. So yes, you got to invest in your brother's businesses, but simultaneously, you got to invest in cryptocurrency.
Right.
On another post, I saw brother Theodis Carey say, "I'm no longer gonna invest in do business with Black businesses. I'm gonna do business with good businesses." And so think about it. Marcus Mitchell says to invest in each other's business. Theodis Carey, because of a few bad experiences with a few entities, now he's promoting, I'm not gonna, so you're not gonna do business with, who does this? What other ethnic group comes up with these foolish concepts other than us?
Right.
All you gotta do for any bad melanated business owner who gave you bad service is to go deal with that entity. Stop shopping with them. Period. But you go shop with another. Like, so that's why when we look at the $1.5 trillion in consumption spending for African descendants, that's why we're under 3%, because of that type of mentality, which comes out of slavery anyway. And then when you look at Marcus's post where he was saying, you know, invest in our businesses and not in crypto that you don't even understand. But if you don't invest in crypto, you're losing opportunities to now advance your family, your people. That would be highly, because now you're tapping into the global arena.
Right. Yeah.
The global arena.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not an either or, you got to do both.
Yeah. So if you missed the beginning of the show, you're watching the Revolutionary Code or listening to Revolutionary Code, where we bring the truth about how governmental politics actually works in every facet of human existence, and of course how it affects our people here in America and around the world. Tonight's show is our 44th episode, and it's titled "Cryptocurrency: The Future of Money Today and the Economic Power Black People Could Secure." My name is Tamani Mwandani. I'm the founder of the Black Gold Nation Movement, and my co-host is Brother Craig B. Lee, who's our National Director of Political Strategy and Implementation. So, Brother Craig, you sent me an article, as you often do, a few months ago, well, 5-6 weeks ago, about a guy named Bernard Arnault, Arnault, who got richer than Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos by investing. And you preempted, and this is the important part, you preempted the article by stating in all caps, as you do sometimes, while unconscious Negroes and pseudo-intellectual and pseudo-woke liberation entertainers are bullshitting every day, these pale skins are at war with each other, battling to see who will be the richest gangster and which gangster among them is going to have the largest control of the world. But these janky-ass Negroes are running around the country talking about reparations and begging pale skins to love, hug, and caress them. And then lastly, you said, and this is the part that I want to get to, you say we have to seize the opportunity to leverage financial independence in the new world order of crypto while they are battling. Tell us about this war that they are engaged in with one another.
See, just like the example I gave on the guano today, the white capitalists, they don't just sit up and say, you know what, Bill Gates is the greatest. You know what, Elon Musk is the greatest, or Michael Dell is the greatest. They don't play that. Right. They coming for you. Because this is like competition for real for them. So there's an African proverb that says, when elephants fight, only the grass suffers, right? And so when you got titans who are fighting, or people who are knocking off one entity for another, when I was a municipal bond broker, we would often say, where there's chaos and confusion, there's opportunity.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
So we got an opportunity if we're willing to learn and seize it. So they're creating a new paradigm shift. You look at the old guard of entities who are out there, like Warren Buffett, George Soros, these cats who have been sitting on billions and trillions of dollars forever. But there's a new group of young titans that are now seizing the opportunities through technology in the global economy. And if we are smart, we can hitch our wagon to what they're trying to do to disrupt the new their new push to go against the old school type. So that's what I'm talking about when I make those statements. But you got the people who are supposed to be the representatives that's out there doing all these damn YouTube videos and whatnot. And none of them are really pushing this. They're pushing something that's never going to happen. And even if it did happen, let's say they give you $100,000. What the fuck are you gonna do with $100,000? Only other than to spend it right back. And if white folks were really smart, if they were really smart, they're just gonna give them the goddamn money.
Because you're gonna get it back. You're gonna get it back in a very short period of time.
You're gonna give it right back. But now, if you enlighten yourself and you can get in on some of these cryptos early in the ball game, just with $100 or $200, you can get billions of these coins. Now, some of the coins, as As Harlan and I talk about, he calls them shit coins. I call them hype coins. Some of them are hype coins or emotionally based coins that are not real in terms of a business concept to solve anything, but some of them are real.
Mm-hmm.
And especially right now on the downturn where people are saying, oh, see, I told you about Bitcoin, I told you about Ethereum. Bro, this is the best time to buy because the coins are not going to go anywhere. The new currency is here.
It's here.
So now you got an opportunity if you now stop bullshitting and now connect to learn the process so you can rock and roll. Dr. Jones is on this call and she's in tax accounting and I sent her an article the other week about how to transition because these people are making money, brother.
Yep.
And but with the money that's being made, the government wants to tax.
Of course.
So now you got to have a strategy as to how you rock and roll. She provides some of those things. The accounting field is not my specialty, my background, but I have to be literate enough to understand how to navigate it. But needless to say, I sent her an article and she can tell you, man, these folks are out here making money. And some of, if you're smart now, some Black folks have hitched their wagon and are rolling, but ain't nobody gonna make you do it because we're going to a place right now, bro, it's gonna be straight up haves and have-nots.
That's right.
And from what I have seen here in Nevada and in Arizona on the way to the Grand Canyon, bruh, man, these people ain't they not nowhere even in the game. But they they used to living off of berries and goddamn antelope. And this is what they do, you know?
Right.
We ain't.
Right.
But that's what that whole quote in that article was referencing because that's where we got to go. So you got to tune out a lot of this rhetoric, but they know the people are just caught up in the rhetoric, man, and they're just feeding them all this stuff, man.
Yeah. Okay. So let's bring the magnitude of what you just said home for everybody as it relates to seizing the opportunity, how big it could be. Give everybody your example that you often give about the kind of capital that could be generated with the right investment in crypto. So Bitcoin started how many years ago? At what value was it when it first started? What is that today, the value of it today? And how is that a perfect example of what's possible?
So I sent you some months ago a case analysis 10 years ago, 11 years ago in 2010, when Bitcoin in January of 2010, when Bitcoin was at 0.0008. That was in January, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to do an analysis to show people now, and that was a high price. I want you to feel me now.
Yeah.
0.0008 was a high price because if you had gotten in, I think they launched in 2009. 2009 is when they launched. So if you had gotten in at that point,
mm-hmm.
and I gave you the example of $100, we're talking $100 investment. If you had known about Bitcoin when it was at 0.0000000001 or seven or eight zeros, where you could have gotten in, because I think they came out with, I forgot how many coins were in circulation, because there's only a small amount that they had. But if you would have came in and gotten in then with $100, right now you'll be sitting on about $1 trillion. But the example I gave was in January 2010, when Bitcoin was at 0.0008. Okay, so it wasn't even a penny yet. $100 would have yielded you 125,000 Bitcoins. All right.
Yep.
Now, fast forward to December of 2010, Bitcoin had gotten up to 8 cents. It had gotten up to 8 cents. So the same $100 yielded you 1,025 Bitcoins. Now, at that time, you know, you're thinking 1,025 versus 125,000 is like, boom. So you could do the math right now. So today, Bitcoin I ain't check it exactly, but let me do this right quick. Let me just tap back 35,000 times 125,000. Okay, right now, Bitcoin is about 35,000. I didn't tap into it today total, but let's just say for $100 you held, and you would have done some things a little bit differently once it got to $1,000, once it got to 20,000, once it got to 60,000, but you would have held some of them. But let's just say you held all of them. 125,000 Bitcoins right now off of $100 investment from January 2010 right now would be $4,375,000,000. $4,375,000,000
$100
off of $100 investment. Now, if you had waited for that until that December, and you had 1,250 coins at the current price of about 35,000, you would have $43.7 million off of $100 investment.
Right.
Okay. And so people blow $100.
That's right.
You know,
yeah.
I mean, broke people blow $100 at the club.
Yeah.
You know, popping, yeah. Right? So
buying clothes to go to the club.
My thing, exactly.
Yeah.
So my thing is, I'm not even asking you to stop flossing per se. I'm asking you to divert a percentage of the money that you waste into some of these speculative endeavors that easily could pay off. And like right now with the Shiba coin, Safe Moon, some of these other coins that you can get, that's like 7 zeros, 8 zeros in front of the nearest whole number. You get now $50, $100, you get a few billion coins. The damn coin ain't even got to get up to $1, right. And you're a millionaire just at 1 penny.
That's right.
It ain't got to get up to a penny.
Yeah. So that's a perfect statement for the next question, which is the estimates for reparations are in the trillions. So you're saying, based on that article you sent me about the white boy Bernard Arnault, however you pronounce his name, investing in general or investing in cryptocurrency, you're saying could generate trillions for Black people, or it could generate enough. Okay, so you're saying it can generate trillions. So that really could be our reparations if we were to move in that direction as a group.
Dude, because crypto is on the damn computer.
Yeah.
It's on the computer. And so none of this is real anyway. It's all a concept.
Yeah.
And so you can take this concept that they've created, invest in it. This is your reparation.
Yes, sir.
Right? Because again, dude, you can see right now, just with the couple $1 trillion that they've spent for these various stimulus packages. How much money has people been getting? $1,000 here,
yeah,
$3,000. Okay.
Yeah.
Now everybody has not gotten a check now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not only every African American person, but not every white person or whatever. So let's just say out of 300 million people, let's just say half of them, 100 million tapped in, and they've been getting $1,000, $2,000. I mean, how much money do you really think you're gonna get, even if they said, okay, we're gonna give $5 trillion to 45, 50 million African descendants? You know, how much is that really gonna be? Mm-hmm. Okay. And so now you can say, like, let's just say that number is 100,000, because it ain't gonna be no hell of a lot of money. Mm. So you're telling me that waiting for reparations, let's say $100,000, is more impactful than putting up $100 or $50 behind a crypto or a few different cryptos and potentially sitting on 42 million or $4 billion. I mean, I don't understand that rationale, but I get it. But hey, I'm rolling with where the market is going over the next 100 years, next 200 years. It's going into this particular space. So there's a limited opportunity, and once the window closes, I mean, it's not going to be there. Yeah. I mean, because you can still invest, but it's not going to be life-changing type things. Right. And all I'm doing right now, because entrepreneur. Exactly. See, because my number one thing that you need to invest in is yourself, i.e. business, right? You need to do entrepreneurship for those who can. All right. So once you do your entrepreneurship, you invest in cryptocurrency. That's your life-changing opportunities. Along with your entrepreneurship, you hold your crypto and you see what happens over the next, 5 years. That's right. And you let it do what it do. Yep. Because it's gonna do it anyway. It's gonna do it anyway. That's right. Okay. So you just got to figure out how much money you want to put into the various projects and how many cryptos you want to invest in.
Another perfect segue to the second to the last question. Another perfect segue. So how easy is it to invest? Is it anything that the average Black person with average intelligence cannot do? Is investing like brain surgery?
It's not as difficult as brain surgery, but you have to have you have to dedicate yourself.
You got to be committed for sure.
Yeah, because there's a lot of
steps.
Let me say this: if you ain't got no ID and no bank account, you might as well go on and kill yourself, because you got to have ID and bank account. So if you trying to be sovereign, this ain't for you, brother.
Okay, wait. Okay, so an average person with average intelligence can do this, right? That's what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, they can if you're dedicated. Because you remember when I told you when I first started.
Oh yeah, sure, no doubt.
I had to get a drink, goddamn, after that first, bruh, because it's a lot of steps.
Yeah, it's a process for sure. It's a process.
It's a lot of steps. But yeah, you can. The average person, if you put as much damn focus in the crypto as you put into going to church, as you put into going to the club, if you put that kind of dedication in the crypto, you're gonna be all right.
Yeah.
Now, but I mean, you better have these things, because you gotta have ID.
Yeah.
And you gotta have. I mean, you got to have a good memory. You got to be disciplined, man. You got to be, because there are stories right now where, like, if you don't keep up with your password,
that's it.
Now it's a dude sitting on millions of dollars in Bitcoins, and he lost his damn password. I said, man, you might as well keep it. Bruh.
Yeah, for sure. If you don't remember them were they passphrases?
Yeah,
you don't have a record, man. Yeah, and once you locked out, All right, last question. Okay, so tonight's show title, again, cryptocurrency, the future of money today, and the economic power Black people could secure. I think we've answered every aspect of the title. Last question, you can give everyone one takeaway from tonight's show, everything we've discussed, one takeaway that they will have for the rest of their lives, what would that one takeaway from tonight's show be?
Cryptocurrency is the future of money today. Get in the game, because the window of opportunity is here.
Yep.
But once consensus happens, the opportunities for you to make have life-changing money, currency is going to be over. The price is going to be astronomical.
That's right.
You want to be on the end where the naysayers are saying don't do it, but you've done your due diligence and you know this is where you're at. So that's the one thing. The crypto is the future of money right now, and you got to jump in. Don't be the person that does the example I gave about Bitcoin is from January 2010 to December 2008. So, okay, 125,000 coins versus 1,250 coins. Okay, whether you're at 1,250 or 125,000 Bitcoins, you're financially independent. Mm-hmm. The person who doesn't do anything with that $100, but just go to the club or go shopping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
And you best believe, had I known about it, I would have eased, because I'm putting up 200, 300, 500 right. in various things right now. So if I would have known about it, it would have been lights out.
It would have been over. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. With that, that concludes tonight's show with my questions. Before we close this thing out, does anybody have a question or comment for Brother Craig before we close it out? Brother Naru has turned his camera on. That means our brother is ready. It's on you, Brother Naru.
Y'all stopped early tonight. I ain't never seen y'all stop before.
Man, it's 3 till 10. We good.
What's going on here?
Them last 3 minutes are for you, brother.
Also, I got a couple questions. The first one is, if all we need is consensus to establish a currency, then can we just make our own currency?
Mm.
That's my first question.
That's a very good question. So Tamani and I were invited to a meeting about a coin from Africa called the Odua coin. And again, consensus, yes, but remember, we're playing in a global system and a global game. And so when I talk about consensus, I'm talking about within the structure of the system of capitalistic white supremacy. Now, you can have consensus, like let's take the Dogecoin for example. It is a worthless piece of trash, right? It doesn't do anything. It's just a hype coin. It's a as Harlan says, a shit coin. But again, it established consensus. But it established consensus around who? Elon Musk and the various stars that push that currency. It's not a new currency. It's been around for some years, but they wanted to hype it up. And so I can give you an example, Brother Naru. One of my colleagues in Shreveport, her son and his partner looked at Dogecoin early last year. No, earlier this year. And they said, we're gonna put up $3,000 a piece. My colleague's son didn't put it up, but his friend did. So he got over 1 million. He got a little bit over 1 million Dogecoins. It went up to 69 cents. The dude had 700 and some thousand. I'm talking about, I saw the actual receipt for this. But because he was following Elon Musk, he didn't at least liquidate half of the portfolio. Dogecoin now is at 20 something cents. So think about that. He's sitting on, 200 some thousand now, but had he went on and liquidated at least half of the portfolio, now he'll be sitting on 400 some thousand, which he could have then went and invested in some other legitimate cryptos. Bitcoin, Ethereum, ADA, what you saw in the 1860s when they carved up Africa and each country took a part of Africa, France took a part of that, you know what I'm saying? This is what's going on right now, but they're carving up the world. And so they're like ADA, Cardano is about to be the crypto for Africa. So you got to be able to position yourself strategically so that you can be in there. But as it relates to our own thing, I'm not going to tell you that you can't do it, but this game is about global. It's about getting people throughout the globe to tap into your deal. And I had to educate this one brother because there's another one that just came out from Africa. And I'm like, brother, that coin is not gonna do anything. And he was like, nah, man, you can get it right now for 25 cents because it's going up to $30. He didn't know about the game at all. And so he thought, man, 25 cents, that's cheap, but that's very expensive. So I had to show him about market capitalization, about the companies and things like that. And so my point to tell you is this: yes, if you have a concept that can be rolled, yeah, you can create that, but your concept needs to resonate on a global level.
No question, no question. And the last question is this, and this might already be happening, but I want to know how long you think it will take, or it's already happening, for people to be able to tap into the Bitcoin, and like these hackers, and access it, because it's supposed to be one of the most secure platforms there is. But
Yes.
Eventually everything that's created, they do figure out a way to get into it. So what's your take on that?
Well, one of the big things that I push and invested in this arena is what they call cybersecurity. Not only from the crypto standpoint, the actual crypto that you're tapping into, but your own personal. I mean, Harlan has made certain recommendations for me to purchase a laptop that is specifically for my financial investments, that I hardline this, and it's not a cloud deal. So I'm doing that. You gotta have, you gotta have the right technology, and Dr. Jones has focused on that. You gotta have the right technology in order to shield your own self, let alone talk about them penetrating one of the cryptos. But I will say that all of these cryptos are highly encrypted, hence crypto.
Yeah.
They're encrypted. They're constantly on, the one for that. But again, a lot of the shit coins or hype coins, they're open to be hacked. Because it's not like these other real coins that actually have an application, to doing something. So I think, yeah, there's a possibility of that, but I will say that those brilliant people who are the security people for the cryptos, they are on their job. The question is, if once you invest in these and you're now making millions of dollars, you had better be on your job, because it ain't no damn FDIC and no Securities Exchange Commission out there. You are responsible for handling your own cybersecurity for your own cryptos, and it's serious business.
Yeah. Brother Michael Abrams asked a question. I'm sorry, Naru, did you have another question?
No, I just said that was a good answer.
Okay, cool. Thank you, brother. Brother Michael Abrams asked, Brother Craig, what platform do you suggest using for someone who may be interested in getting started with trading stock?
I mean, you got Robinhood, you got, you got different, and I probably would suggest Robinhood because it's an easy deal, and they're
starting point.
giving you some things. Having been, in the Wall Street arena as a municipal bond broker, I'm just going to be honest with you. Unless you got an inroad, some intel about the stock, it's not even something I'm even pushing for people now. I push the crypto because it's a lower entry point, and that's the future of money. And so I'm not telling people to just like abandon looking at stock altogether, but I am saying your return is going to be in the crypto market, not the actual stock market. You're not going to make the returns you're going to make in the crypto arena. But Robinhood is a good platform to get into. What's the other one that I've used in the past? It's a few of them, and I can't even think about the name right now, and I know it. But at the end of the day, Robinhood would be the first deal if you're talking about getting into the stock market. I would suggest, Mike, looking at penny stock, stock that you can purchase for $1 and under. But yeah, E-Trade, that's it. That's it. I couldn't even think about it. Dr. Jones, E-Trade, that's the one that I also recommend because they have low fees and things of that nature. But it's just like anything else. You got to study the companies, see what you want to rock and roll and get into. But for me, it's entrepreneurship, number one, cryptocurrency, real estate, precious metals. I'm not even, man, I'm investing in my own stock. When you're an entrepreneur, you're investing in your own equity. And that's what I'm doing as it relates to that. But as it relates to the crypto, since I can get it inexpensively and the probability of it morphing into millions, tens of millions of dollars, I'll take that over the possibility of getting a couple of $1,000 any day. That's where I'm at.
That's right. So does anybody else have a question or comment for Brother Craig before we close this thing out? Any other questions or comments? Going once? Questions or comments going twice? All right, Brother Craig, closing remarks, closing comments from you.
Well, as always, I want to thank you guys. And again, I am Dr. Jones is on this call this evening. I want to congratulate her because she has just been a shining light in following the information that I've given her since last year, and she's turned that into an awesome contract in the city of Shreveport with our Fair Share department. I am so proud of her because she's going to be helping businesses navigate and tap in to the public sector contract procurement arena. She'll be getting them up to speed. And so I'm just totally ecstatic about that. But we just gotta step our game up so that we can tap into the resources that we need to step into, and so we can make our ancestors proud. No matter what we are going through in this wicked system, there are opportunities for us to navigate and make things happen. I don't give a damn how difficult it looks. We have an opportunity, but we got to stop, belly aching about things and now embrace the learning component so that we can, really tap into some stuff. And Tamani, we definitely are going to have to do a YouTube channel. My cousin, Sheree Reed, she had been trying to call me, so we finally talked, and she was living here in Vegas, and we finally talked today, and she said, Cousin Craig, did you know the video that you made last year in front of the courthouse when you were breaking down the statue and there was the standoff between the Klan and some of the activists? Did you know that went viral? And I was like, no, I ain't know nothing about it. Dude, she said that all kind of hip hop blogs or whatever were carried the video, and guys were trying to figure out who I was, right?
Mhm.
And she was like, "That's my cousin, right?" And she said, "Cousin, if you had YouTube, you could have been making money." I say, "Yo, man, I know." I say, I gotta get YouTube channel, but you gotta get one. We gotta get one together. I gotta get one, but that's coming. But I wanted to say that because that's the power of technology that's going on. Although I don't do the TikTok videos right now, we got to do TikTok. We don't have to do retarded stuff like a lot of people are doing, but we can come up with something that people can tap into. But we can monetize the intellectual property that we're putting out every week. That's why I'm not so tripped out about the numbers right now, Brother to Money, because this is allowing us to refine what we're doing.
Yeah.
So once we really start to promote the content is already there. I mean, we've done these shows, and we're doing this straight up about the business of empowering our people. So I'm just thankful for the few people that we have consistently following, and like Dr. Jones just complimented me. I represent the interests of our people, and I've pledged my life to do that. Not only in Shreveport, Caddo, not only throughout the state of Louisiana, but throughout the country and other parts of the world. Although it starts for me in Shreveport, Caddo, just like for you, Brother Tamani, it starts in Houston, Harris County, in terms of that being our headquarters for the Black Gold Nation. But when I have people who got their business together, who can follow basic instructions, and they are committed and dedicated, boom, you can now start to do positive things like Dr. Jones, and then we can start to really make things happen. So we're on the grind, man, and I appreciate everybody for tapping in today and each week so that we can discuss these very important issues.
Amen, amen. And on that note, also congrats to Dr. Jones for her progress and success with what she's working on. And like Brother Craig said, where there is chaos and confusion, there is opportunity.
Yes, sir.
But you must pay attention to the chaos and confusion so you can see the opportunity and then seize the moment. So with that, as always, remember that no one can do everything, but if everyone does something, everything will get done. And absolutely, always, always, always remember that nothing is more sacred than the liberation, empowerment, salvation, and freedom of our people, Black people here in this country and around the world. So with that, thank you guys very much. God bless. You guys have a good evening.
Yes, indeed. Peace.